Hey, good morning everybody. Joey here. Actually, good afternoon. It's about 2:30 today, Wednesday. I think it's the 15th of April. At any rate, smoking a little Dunhill Elizabethan Mixture. I've done a review on that before. Excellent Virginia Perique blend from Dunhill. At any rate, I was watching a video from one of the YouTube pipe smokers, Matches 860, and he was kind of giving a little bit of his background. I know when we watch each other's videos, we talk about pipes and everything, but we really don't know too much about the person. So he was giving some background, some childhood memories, which I got quite a kick out of. I guess he was a prankster. I certainly was growing up, because back then we didn't have video games and all that other nonsense. You know, we were outside all the time playing with our buddies or baseball or goofing off. But I was a preacher's kid. My father was a minister and an electrical engineer. He worked for RCA down here in Florida. But at any rate, my shenanigans started at a pretty early age. I know even in church I couldn't behave myself. I would poke holes in the cups at the water fountain. The ladies would get a drink, all the water would drip down on their shoes. I would crawl under the benches and pull the plug on the church organ while the lady was playing. My mom would drag me outside and give me a whipping. That was a pretty regular thing. I know the one time she carried me out for pulling the plug, I looked at the church congregation there and said, y'all better pray for me. So at any rate, I was always up to something. I think at the age of 3 I managed to get a hold of my father's car keys. So I decided I was going to walk out to the car. I got in there, put the keys in, started it up. I guess I would watch him, how he would go through the process of driving. So, you know, I reached up and put that thing in reverse. You know, I couldn't even see out the windshield. Down I go backwards down the driveway. Fortunately, my neighbor saw what was going on and ran up and opened the door and stopped the car. So I got it for that one too. Basically, I was always coming up with some harebrained, bright idea, scheme. I know I used to shoot off model rockets. I decided, I wonder what would happen if I crushed one of these rocket engines up and put it in it was like an old coffee can. Back then they were made out of metal. You had to use a can opener. Those of you that are older remember that. So I put it in there, the crushed up rocket engine, and lit a match. And as I struck the match, a little piece of burning sulfur from the match flew into that can when I was leaning over it, and whoosh, right in my face. So here I am, no eyebrows, no eyelashes, hair is singed, and I wound up ulcerating the cornea of my eye. A little piece of that gunpowder went in there, whatever they use for fuel. My eye swelled shut. So now I have I'm in the predicament of having to explain to my mother what I had done or what happened to my face. My eye wound up swelling shut, so I actually went to bed early that night and told her that I was tired. So she didn't see my eye yet until the morning. Then it was worse, and I knew I probably had to go to the doctor. So my mom, I told her that I had gotten hit in the eye with a baseball. Somehow she didn't notice. I guess my eyebrows were missing. Brought me to the doctor. So I go in there. He looks at me for about 5 seconds. Asks my mom to leave the room. He says, "Joey, Do you want to tell your mom and me what really happened? So it was quite obvious to the doctor I hadn't got hit with a baseball. But what are you going to do? But yeah, like I said, I was always coming up with some harebrained cockamamie scheme. I grew up in a pretty quiet little suburb in Florida, kind of a dead-end street, like a cul-de-sac. We would get in BB gun wars with the kids on the street behind us. You look back on this in retrospect, how somebody didn't lose an eye or worse, I don't know, but somehow none of us got seriously hurt other than having to pick a BB out of our leg or arm with a pair of tweezers. But I was never the type of kid that if I got hurt, I would run home to my mom. I used to ride dirt bikes and like the old three-wheelers. Now they don't make them anymore because they're dangerous. But boy, I flipped that thing one time and hit a tree and cut a gash in the front of my leg about 4 inches long. So again, I didn't want to tell my mom. You know, she wouldn't let me ride the thing anymore if I did. So I went home and got my dad's razor and shaved the peach fuzz, I guess it was back then, off my legs. I don't know, I was maybe 12. And put little butterfly bandages on it. And she never found out about it. It healed up horribly. Thank God. I don't know how it didn't get infected, but I still have a massive scar on my leg. There's no feeling in it on my shin. You could put a needle in there and I wouldn't even know it. And then another time, I was old enough to know better. We decided, I lived out in kind of, there were some dirt roads out there. It's all built up now, but I think I had just gotten my driver's license, so we went down and I had made a big firecracker. I used to make my own gunpowder. I don't know how I learned how to make it. I read it somewhere. We didn't have the internet back then. Anyway, we got the bright idea we were going to blow up a mailbox. So I went, me and two other buddies went driving around. We found a mailbox kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and we put the little, actually it was a big homemade firecracker in there, and we lit it, drove off. We heard the boom in the distance, and of course, what do? You return to the scene of the crime. It's every criminal's downfall. So we looked, it blew this mailbox inside out to smithereens, and sure enough, there's the guy waiting. So we all run in the car like a bunch of idiots and take off, and he got our license plate number, and for some reason we thought we'd be safe inside the house, so me and my other buddy went in the house, the other one stayed outside, and next thing you know, we hear this PA system. Hey, all of a sudden the garage door flies open, my buddy comes running in the house, and he, get back out here, son. So of course my mom, you know, what's that? And well, he said, I think it's the police, you know. So we all got hauled out there and put in the back of the car. Actually put us in handcuffs, all three of us in the back of that police cruiser, and out comes my dad. I see him talking to the deputy and I can hear him. He says, before you take my son to jail, can I talk to him for just a minute first? Well, I was handcuffed behind, so I couldn't get my hands up to tell the cop, no, no, no. Well, he said, sure. So my dad pulled me out of that car right in front of the police officer. He's kicking me in the butt. And then he put me right back in the car and went in the house. So he's probably fortunate he did that, because this young deputy or police officer, I guess, saw that I would get some discipline at home. It was obvious. So he went and talked to the owner of the mailbox and said, hey, if the kids replace your mailbox, will you? And he said, yeah, no problem. This kid's doing stupid stuff. So we went and replaced his mailbox, and my dad made me cut his grass for, I think it was 3 or 4 months for free as part of my punishment. But at any rate, that was me as a kid. I was always into something, doing something stupid, you know, harebrained, bright ideas at the time. And at any rate, that was my my childhood. Like I said, always into something, but fortunately I grew up. I'm responsible now, but just fond memories. I don't know, good times. At any rate, I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope everything's going really well for you, and I'm going to finish my Dunhill Elizabethan mixture, and I will talk to you all later.